Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. I'm Jami Ballentine Dolby and I'm joined with Klear. Unfortunately, Jade is out today, but we're holding it down for her. Okay, Amber, now listen. We have had an exciting year. We're like 2-3 years removed from the panorama.
The panorama.
Whatever it was called, like we're out of it.
Yeah.
What are you loving most about this year or the season?
I think I'm loving the new normal, that people are more appreciative in inner circles. Like society as a whole still complains too much. But I feel like our circles have gotten stronger. They may have gotten smaller, but they've gotten stronger. What are you loving?
I'm really loving, I kind of love the new normal, right? Like, I don't know if I remember a life before the panorama, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just a lot, right? And the words are a lot. But before COVID-19 really hit us, I feel like I was running. And obviously, when the pandemic hit and the shutdown hit, we all had to stop.
You have to assess what's most important and what you're willing to risk.
And really, when outside opened back up, it caused me to not do so much. And I really could use the pandemic as an excuse. And I know I'm not using it as an excuse anymore, but it has given me a new sense of normalcy. Like, I don't have to do everything. I don't have to be every place.
Yeah.
I feel like I move a little bit slower and take more time for myself. So that's what I'm loving.
I feel like that's a reflection of where we are in society right now, because like, as someone who gathers people for a living, who I want as many people as possible to come out, it's changed the dynamic of not only the people that come out, but how I advertise and how businesses are marketing to get people to join them, because you have to have more now and you have to be more inclusive and you have to be more, just more everything so that people will come to your business. And it's really been make or break for a lot of businesses, because even the alcohol has shifted from like, people were buying alcohol in bars and now they're buying more alcohol to take home. So it's just shifted. But I think that on one hand, I love it because again, our circles have gotten smaller and tighter.
Right.
On the other hand, as an entertainer, it's really hard to go out and struggle to like have an audience, which is something that I took a minute to adjust for, but like other comedians that haven't adapted as well, or other entertainers, bands, whatever, like they're still trying to adapt.
I feel like I've gotten more into comedy, not me on stage, but just listening to more comedy during these times. I've enjoyed, like, you kind of miss, you kind of take for granted the laughs or the joyous times. And so I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, a lot of comedy on radio, and even just going back to live shows.
I love live shows.
Has been, how's your audience? Are they reacting to you? Like, are they giving you a little extra?
I think so. I think people are more appreciative in general of the entertainment that is there, and they're more appreciative of just the quality. So it's make or break time for people, because if you don't have substance and quality, like they're not going to come back, and they will let you know. They're more apt to give feedback of, oh, I want to see this or I want to see that. But on the flip side, like it's changed, because before audiences, like you would have a 10 top or a 6 top, and you'd have all these people that didn't know each other because everyone comes as a couple or a bachelorette party or like groups, and they would mingle. And now they don't mingle. And so it's hard, like, especially for people that are in the dating world, like you really have to like utilize your friend circle to meet people. So, and I've trended more online. There's a couple groups I absolutely lean on and love. I know I preach that, like, as much as I love social media, it is something that like you have to use with intention so that it doesn't like negatively affect you. And I have joined groups. One of them is called Girlfriends in the 618. There's also a 314 one.
Okay.
And then there's also my favorite, there's a dating thing that's like all the women are like talking together, and it's like I won't say the name of their group because we're not supposed to, but it's changing. Like, these men have got to behave, because it's changing the dynamic. It's changing the power structure of, they'll share a picture and be like, who else is talking to this guy? What have you heard? Or it's like, give me reviews on this guy. And I love it because it's changing the power dynamic. So.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break so I can get the name of this group. But stay with us. We have more coming up.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes. And way over here, busy moms. No?
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Today we're going to do something different and take time to get to know each other a little better and share more about who we are. I know it's just the two of us, but I think it'll be a good thing. We could just make up things about Jade.
Honestly,
we can just share all the good things we know about Jade. She's amazing.
She is amazing.
Amber and myself, we really started this journey originally on Zoom.
Yeah.
You all started first and I kind of joined later. It was 5 of us.
Yeah.
Quiz, do you know everybody's name?
I don't know everybody's name in my own family.
Come on, just first names. Can you name everyone?
All I can think of right now is Amy. Because she was such a force to be reckoned with. And I love watching her success on her Facebook and her book and her treatment of her, not only of herself, but like of all of the other people.
Yeah.
So.
No. And Tina
yeah,
moved.
Yeah.
Tina was not in St. Louis, but when we were on Zoom, I think it was really great having her. I still remember her story that she shared when we did the domestic violence episode.
Yeah.
It was so brave and emotional, but I think it was a story that we all needed to hear.
But it's also inspiring because
Right.
as somebody who has gone through things and just kept them to myself, you feel so alone and you feel like you're the only one struggling with something, when in reality, there are all these people who are keeping these secrets that you're also keeping.
Absolutely.
But if we would just talk about them, then it would open up a whole world of healing and feeling accepted and normal. So,
Right.
yeah.
And then there's Jade. Jade is out today. But I'll just tell you my favorite thing about Jade. One thing, first, nobody can rap a hair wrap better than Jade.
At first I was like, you mean she's got a hidden talent?
Jade probably does.
I bet she
rap.
does. I bet
Jade
she's
has
good
a
with
freestyle.
words. She's good with structure, like I love.
On our next break, we should try to find Jade's freestyle. I feel like it's out there.
It's on YouTube somewhere.
It's somewhere.
We should surprise her and just be like, you're going to rap for us right now.
We should tell her that that's what we did. We all freestyle rap. Jade has been amazing. She's really been a legend in the game. And I think she's really been the glue for the show, and we've all connected.
Do you remember the show we did about hair?
Yes.
I wish that we would follow through on Jade should teach me how to like wrap my hair, and I think that would be a great.
It would. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. I've tried wraps before, but like I'm so clumsy that as soon as I get in the car, like one little bump or I make a mistake and it does not last long.
Did you not grow up wrapping your hair either?
No. Like you mean like a head wrap or wrapping it at night?
Well, both, but a head wrap, how she has. Like I wrap my hair at night. I just found out like in the last few years that a bonnet is magical.
Yeah, I'm notorious for not wrapping my hair. I was notorious for not wrapping it at night too. I know there were some in my community that would just be appalled right now, but it's not my favorite thing. So a little bit about me. I grew up, my dad was a barber and my mom was a beautician and my family owned.
And you don't wrap your hair.
My family owned one of the largest Black-owned beauty supply businesses in the country. And because I know I could always just go get my hair done.
How did that affect the traditions in your household that if your bars are notorious for like late night management needs and beauticians, or how did that affect your childhood?
So my dad was a barber, my mom's a beautician, right? And so for us, I think the tradition for me, one of the things was I loved being there as a kid. I don't necessarily want to be in a salon now as an adult. I don't even like, I don't like.
Because you grew up that way.
I grew up that way. But one of the things, I think my love for St. Louis, honestly, I fell in love with St. Louis at the barbershop because you could see politicians would come through there, athletes, high school sports stars, your principals, your neighborhood kind of star for whatever they were known for.
It normalizes everybody.
Yeah, it really does. And when you came into the barbershop, and it was on Grand and Natural Bridge, when you came in there, I felt like we were all, and a lot of times I remember when my dad would say, it's time to like leave. Like I would have to go to the beauty shop side and I would just stand by the door, of course, because.
Wait. What, did you have to leave because it was grown folks talking, or because they were talking about?
It wasn't just a question. Like I didn't question. When he said leave, you just left, right, or appeared to leave. But it was like you could hear them talking about everything, and we've interviewed elected officials. We've earlier in the year we interviewed Megan Green. I will never ever forget being in the barbershop. And our first Black mayor of the city of St. Louis, Freeman Bosley, and like he was making rounds and came to the barbershop. And it was like you would have thought the president came through. It was just, so I just remember that. And I really did fall in love with St. Louis. Do you have your favorite, like when did you know, I know you're residing in the 618, but when did you fall in love with St. Louis?
I fell in love with St. Louis in the flood of 93. And that's because, so I was in like kindergarten or first grade, but I just remember thinking that this was such a big city, but it was such like a small town feel because people just, they banded together and they helped each other. And it didn't matter what you looked like or where you came from. Everybody was on the same page and they were all helping each other. And it was such a great dynamic at the time that I was like, I love St. Louis. And of course I love the zoo I fell in love with and ended up working there. Mm-hmm. I love Art Hill. I love all the different sections of nightlife. Like in one weekend, I may go out in the Grove, or I may go to the Loop, or last weekend I was in the Hill because they have that gorgeous fountain.
They do.
It's one of my favorite places.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
In the summer, I love to go there and people watch and hear the different languages, and then also watch people playing chess, and just, I'll sit there and have some gelato and just watch how people interact and just remember that I love people and that people can get along.
What's your favorite thing about St. Louis that you can't get or see in any other city?
Oh, wow. So I travel a lot. So I've been probably in 40 states this year. And honestly, it's a vibe with the people. Like everywhere is the same, but St. Louis is different in the sense that you can feel the vibrancy and you can feel just the shift in energy. And I know that some people, if you're not from here, they'll hate on it, but it's like, no, like anybody really can talk to anybody. And it's just, I don't know. It's not that dangerous, I think. I think that that's a misconstrue of the statistics a lot because I think that any other city has the same crime rate statistically if you look at things equally. Because again, we have that show where we talked about that. And I really researched and delved into. So I'm a statistics like researcher. If I want to know something, I dive into it. And part of that's probably my like neurodivergency, but yeah.
Well, we need to take a quick break and I'll tell you what my number one thing about St. Louis that I love. So stay with us. When we return, we'll continue getting to know each other and we'll recap some of our favorite moments on the show.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. We've been chatting with each other and getting to know more about each other. But right now, we want to take a moment to recap some of our favorite moments on the show. Amber.
I think for me, it's been getting to know you, and it's been getting to know all of our guests, but like you as a person, because I came into this and I didn't know who you were. I didn't know who Jade was. And you guys have introduced me to a whole different level of life.
Yeah, I really appreciated the opportunity, but the fact that we started literally in the middle of
a pandemic,
I think was really a testament to STL TV and their commitment to obviously continuing to support the community and get the message out. But we really had to get to know each other on Zoom for over a year. Like a year and a half we were on Zoom, right?
Yeah. Time all runs together.
I feel like I lost a year during the pandemic, but...
See, now I feel like I gained a year because I was forced to stay home, whereas before I was traveling all the time.
Right.
And that's when, like, I became, I love calling myself a tourist in my own city. Like, I love exploring St. Louis, and I love every weekend there's a different event, probably 10 different events. I know that Das Bevo has been open forever, but I just went there for the first time. Yeah, and I went all the way up to the bottom, or all the way up and all the way down to the bottom. Like, I explored every inch of that. And then I talked to the owners and everything, and they're like, oh, like, you think this is huge. Do you realize that you're missing a whole, I think he said it was like a 3-bedroom apartment that like was still closed off. And I'd like walked around and I'm like, we should explore there.
I think we should do field trips. I know that a lot of times on the show, we get to interview people about what's going on in St. Louis and some of the programs. One of my favorite moments on the show, and it's, I don't know how, because I'm not really, like, even though I have a kid, I'm a mother and I love my child, right? But I'm not into kid things, but I love the episode with Ready Readers.
Yeah.
I think for me, it really highlighted, like, your childhood, like how much your love for books, or our love for books, and the impact. That was really one of my favorite episodes. Do you have a favorite guest that we've interviewed?
That is a hard one. One, I'm not good with names, but do you remember the episode where we were talking about clothing and fashion choices? And our guest from that show has her own boutique and was just really inspirational with how she approached not only the fashion industry, but also just life in general. And like her perception of still being deserved to be loved resonated with me. And that I've used that as kind of a catalyst to like remind myself that like we're all different. We still deserve love.
I love that. I don't know if that's the same show with Johnny Marie Ross and Risha Archibald. She was the costume designer for the Johnsons.
Yes.
The show starring Cedric the Entertainer. Both St. Louis natives working with, tie into you, a huge comedian, Cedric the Entertainer. I love the fact that from Atlanta to LA to them filming, and how there were 3 St. Louisans that all are from 3 different walks of life, you know, separate kind of generations, were all working together, and then they're coming back to do a show in St. Louis. That was, for me, like, I love St. Louis. Like, that was a moment. Like, I felt good about us really talking about that.
What episode do you think filming impacted your outlook the most?
I would say probably the domestic violence episode. I think it was, you know, we had a lot of fun. We do a lot of great things and highlighting all of the good, right? And sometimes when you're highlighting the good and you're talking to so many good people, you kind of forget that we're still dealing with real life, right? Yeah. And I think that we shared, a lot of us on the show have been affected by domestic violence, whether it was directly to a close friend. And for me, that show caused me to wake up and really pay attention to my peer group a little bit more. Yeah.
Prior to that, like, I think that sometimes you grew up with, your parents were together and loving and great. I don't know. Like, that's, I'm just like,
we'll go with that.
Yeah. No. Okay.
We'll go with that. Yeah. No. So my parents were divorced. Yeah.
So that can change your outlook. Mm-hmm. And I think that, especially as women, how our mothers allowed their partners to treat them is what our perception of love becomes. And until we explore different households and we talk about other people, we don't know that there are other options out there.
Right.
And so I think that that was especially important to me to realize at a young age.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think when my other favorite episode, and I feel like we kind of went on this journey of just like magic for a minute, especially when we got back into the studio. I think it was magical for us to be on set together. But then also when we had we had Megan Green earlier at the end of the summer, and early in the year we had the first female president, Dr. Latanya Collins Smith at Harris-Stowe State University. For me, being on stage,
she was a force.
She is phenomenal, and I don't know if you follow them on social, but back in the summer in August, Beyonce's foundation reached out and surprised their students.
I did not.
With
That's awesome.
Tickets to the concert.
That is amazing.
And I just sometimes I sit and watch, the guests that we've interviewed, and then I keep updated with them on social, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I remember them. Like, I knew that. We talked about that. And I kind of get a little bit excited.
You should, yeah.
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 It's exciting. Is there one thing that you've learned about St. Louis or a guest that you're like, you know what? I want to go visit them because of that?
Again, back to the reading thing. I do a lot of events in the summers for kids, and I run 2 huge kids' days where we have inflatables and we have pony rides and we have petting zoos and we have bounce houses. And one of the things that I worked to incorporate this year was having a walkable story time, because it is so important for kids to read and how impactful that is on their development. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. If you had to pick, because we're still celebrating 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one song that defines St. Louis for you, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. When I think of St. Louis, I immediately think of Nelly. So it's not that it necessarily defines St. Louis, but I think that he, as a person, has done so much to bring up everybody around him. And again, that's St. Louis to me. So yeah,
Okay.
I love that.
I'm going to go with anything by Murphy Lee because that's just all St. Louis for me. But I also defining St. Louis country grammar would be. And this show has definitely evolved in the short time it has been on the air. We've interviewed some great guests in the past few years, and we can't wait to see what's next ahead. Maybe we'll get Nelly, I'm not sure. Stay with us. There's more Let's Talk when we return. Amber, it's really been a pleasure getting to know you more. And as we go into the holiday season and the new year, tell me, what's one of your favorite holiday traditions?
I think that for me, it's the gathering of friends, because I don't really have a family to go to. And so I've been able to pick and choose who my family is. And it's about the appreciation that everybody goes around the table and we talk about what we've learned that year. We reflect on the people who've come in and gone out of our lives. And it's just this discussion, sitting down at a dinner table. And I love that. How about you? What are some traditions that you absolutely are eccentric to your holiday?
I think for me, I feel like I'm at a calm during holiday season. Thanksgiving is by far my favorite holiday because I have taken on the responsibility to host.
Okay.
And so I usually have about 40 people.
Do you cook everything?
I cook everything because I'm a control freak. And this is the thing, I don't like to cook. I don't like to cook, but I also don't want other people's food necessarily in my home.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'd rather just suffer and cook it all.
Everything. They don't even bring sides.
No.
Desserts.
No.
Do you buy anything pre-made?
They can bring sweet potato pie because I don't like to make it. I don't like the smell of it. But that's it. They can bring things that I'm not going to eat. So that's it. I love that. That's it. Not
coming to your house because I don't have to cook.
You don't have to cook. I love Thanksgiving. And I think for me, the holiday season is, I feel like I'm at a calm.
Yeah.
I feel like all my family is kind of roaming in and out of town.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't live in St. Louis. And so it's a time where
hard.
I feel like is it?
I feel like that's got to be, I don't have a husband. I don't know.
Zoom in right here. It's not hard. When I tell you it's the best thing, we could do a whole episode, girl. It's great. Okay. Next. So
Again,
yes, it's great to have him in St. Louis during the holiday season. No, I love it when he comes to visit. But it's nice to the whole family is there. And so we don't really get that often.
Yeah.
But it's been a good thing. Do you have a favorite New Year tradition?
Yeah, getting paid. So typically New Year's is one of the highest paid days for comedians because we host big events. But more importantly, like New Year's is absolutely my favorite holiday, followed by Halloween. But I think it's because New Year's is about friends, and for some reason, New Year's just holds this extreme romanticism for me. Like, it's like that night is so romantic on a different level. But I'm also probably weird because I think the 4th of July is romantic. I don't know if it's like the fireworks or like the friends getting together. Again, friends getting together.
Well, I hope we have some fireworks in the next season. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We'd like to thank you at home for joining us and getting to know us better. This show may be over, but you can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, Instagram, and YouTube, or visit us at stltv.net. I'm Jami Ballentine Dolby for Amber Klear. We'll see you next on Let's Talk.